class 9 students, we were doing propagation of sound waves, in which I told you that when a source of sound vibrates, it creates a periodic disturbance in the medium near it, and the disturbance then travels in the medium in the form of waves. So this diagram will show you the propagation of sound in a medium. If you take a thin metal stripe, suppose this is a metal stripe, keeping it vertical, fix its lower end. We have fixed this metal stripe. Now push its upper end to one side. One side we will take the upper end and then we will release it. So it will start vibrating. That means it will move alternately to right and left. Then sound will be heard. Because it is vibrating, so the vibration will be propagated, transmitted in the medium, in the air, and it will reach our ears and we can hear it. Now how the sound travels, how it travels in the form of waves, and what kind of waves are formed by the sound, we will study through this experiment. So this figure, the first one, it shows the undisturbed or normal position of the metal strip, and the air is on the right side near the stripe. This is undisturbed position of the metal stripe. Now, as the stripe moves to the right, it pushes the particles of air in layers in front of it. So, the particles of air in these layers, they come closer to each other. That means they get compressed. So, this region, when the particles of air come closer, that is called compression. Now, the particles of these layers, while moving towards right, push and compress the layer next to them, which then compress the next layers, and so on. Thus, the disturbance moves forward in the form of compression. It pushes these particles, then it will push this. So, it will move on. The compression will move on. Now, as a metal stripe starts returning from its right side to its original position, mean position. So, what happens? The particles in front of it are pushed back. The particles of air near the stripes, they start returning back to their mean position due to the elasticity of the medium. They try to come back to their original positions. Now, when the stripe moves to the left, so it pushes back the layers of air near it towards its left, and it produces a space of very low pressure on its right side. So the air layers on the right side of the strip expand in this region and forming the rarefied air layer. This region of low pressure is called rarefaction. The region of high pressure is called compression, and the region of low pressure is called rarefaction, when the air layers are far apart from each other. Now when the stripe returns to its normal position, it pushes the rarefaction R forward, and the air layers near the stripe again pass through their mean position due to the elasticity of the medium. These layers again come back to their original position. So in this manner, as the stripe moves to the right and the left repeatedly, the compression and rarefaction regions are produced one after the other, which carry the disturbance with it with a definite speed depending on the nature of the medium. These are traveled in the form of, waves are traveled in the form of compression and rarefaction. Compression keeps on moving forward and forming rarefaction. Then again they come to the original position. So this way the wave moves. Gradually, due to friction, the stripe loses its energy to the medium and the disturbance dies out. So one complete to and fro motion of the stripe forms one compression and one rarefaction, which together constitute one wave. This wave, in which the particles of the medium vibrate about their mean position in the direction of propagation of sound, in the horizontal direction. This kind of wave is called a longitudinal wave. The sound travels in the air in the form of longitudinal wave. In the previous example of the metal stripe, formation of waves of air in air could not be seen by the eye. But the formation of waves can easily be seen on the surface of water. If we drop a piece of stone in the still water of a pond, we hear the sound of the stone striking the water surface. Then what happens? Actually, a disturbance is produced water at the point where the stone strikes it. This disturbance spreads in all the directions radially outwards in the form of circular waves. These are also called ripples formed on the surface of water due to disturbance produced in the water. Now, if we place a piece of cork on the water surface at some distance away from the point where the stone strikes the water, we notice that the cork does not move ahead, but it moves up and down while the wave moves ahead. The reason is that the particles of water start vibrating up and down at the point where the stone strikes. Here at this point, the particles of water move up and down. So, these particles then transfer their energy to the other neighboring particles and they themselves come back to their main position. So, this process continues and thus the disturbance moves ahead on the water surface in the form of waves. The waves die out soon as the energy imparted by the stone gets dissipated, gets to the surroundings. However, it is possible to obtain a continuously travelling wave if a periodic disturbance is produced at the point of striking the stone on the water surface. Only at that point, if the disturbance is produced, then it will never die out. The wave in which the particles of the medium vibrate about their mean position in a direction perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave, this is called the transverse wave, and it is composed of crest and trough. The position of maximum upward displacement is called crest, and the position of maximum downward displacement is called trough. So they keep on alternating in time at a position. Alternately they are formed crest, trough, crest, trough. Transverse waves can also be produced in solids and on the surface of liquids, but they cannot be produced inside liquids and in gases. So two types of waves are there: longitudinal waves which travel in the form of compression and rarefaction, and the other are the transverse waves which travel in the form of crest and trough. Now, some very important terms related to the wave motion. Suppose this is the displacement time graph of a wave. Transverse. This is the transverse wave at an instant. Now, when a wave passes through a medium, the maximum displacement of the particle of the medium on either side of its mean position, it is called the amplitude of wave. This maximum position, this is the mean position, starting position. The maximum displacement from the either side is called the amplitude. It is denoted by the letter A and SI unit is meter. Now time period T. The time taken by the particle of the medium to complete one vibration is called time period. This can also be called one vibration, and between two consecutive crests or two consecutive troughs, that is also called one time period. So it is denoted by T and the SI unit is second. Now frequency. The number of vibrations made by the particle of a medium in 1 second is called frequency. So it is denoted by the letter F, number of vibrations made in 1 second. It can be denoted by F, N or mu. Its SI unit is per second, or it is also called as hertz. The frequency, the unit of frequency is also called as hertz. Now frequency and time period are related like this. F equals to 1 upon T. Because what is T? T is the time taken for one vibration, and the number of vibrations made in 1 second is called the frequency. So F equals to 1 upon T. Now what do you mean by wavelength? The distance travelled by the wave in one time period, this distance from here to here, this distance or this distance, that is called one wavelength. Similarly, if I draw one more like this distance between this and this is also called one wavelength. It is denoted by the letter lambda. The distance is called lambda. And because it is distance, the SI unit of lambda is meter. Now, wave velocity. The distance traveled by the wave in 1 second is called the wave velocity or wave speed. It is the speed with which the energy is transferred from one place to the other place by the wave motion. It is denoted by the letter V and its SI unit is meter per second. Now, relationship between wavelength, wave velocity and frequency. Let the velocity of the wave be V. V is taken as the velocity, time period is T, frequency F, wavelength lambda. So we know by definition what is wavelength. Distance traveled by the wave in one time period, that is in T seconds. That means V into T. Distance traveled by the wave in 1 second, distance is speed into time. So lambda equals to V into T or Vt equals to lambda. This is the relation. But we also know T equals to 1 upon F. That means V into 1 upon F equals to lambda or V equals to F lambda. So this is the relation between velocity, frequency and wavelength of a wave.